We know exactly what anxiety looks like on a screen: an unanswered text, a buffering video, or a blinking cursor in an empty field can communicate hesitation and fear long before anyone speaks a word. This shared language of typing, scrolling, and waiting gave rise to Screenlife cinema. In this style of filmmaking, the entire narrative unfolds through digital interfaces rather than physical locations. The rules are strict. The computer screen replaces the traditional camera lens. The mouse cursor acts as a lead performer, directing your attention, and a sudden push notification introduces the plot twists. Conceived by filmmaker Timur Bekmambetov, this format evolved from a minimalistic desktop experiment into a distinct cinematic language. Early Screenlife films succeeded because they abandoned traditional Hollywood cinematography. They replaced carefully lit sets with the messy, highly relatable realism of our own private digital habits, making the screen feel like a mirror of our daily lives. But scaling that intimate realism into a massive, high-budget spectacle creates an entirely new set of problems. The 2026 film Mercy attempts exactly this. Set in a futuristic Los Angeles, the plot revolves around an advanced artificial intelligence known as Judge Maddox, a system that determines guilt or innocence in a matter of minutes. To tell this story, the film expands its digital footprint. It moves off the personal laptops of everyday teenagers and hooks into citywide municipal cloud networks, drone feeds, and interconnected security grids. The claustrophobic bedrooms and choppy webcams of early Screenlife are suddenly sitting right next to high-budget action sequences and sweeping drone shots. Taking a format built on the quiet intimacy of a desktop and injecting it with the adrenaline of a $60 million action film forces us to ask a question. Does blowing up the scale shatter the exact psychological realism that made the genre work? To answer that, we have to look at how we connect to what we watch, a concept film theorists call suture. Developing ideas from psychoanalyst Jacques Lacan, traditional film theory argues that standard editing tricks us into identifying with the camera's gaze. We sit in a dark room and unconsciously accept our role as hidden, passive voyeurs watching a constructed world. This diagram shows how Screenlife creates a new condition called metasuture. Instead of identifying with an invisible camera lens, the viewer's line of sight merges directly with the computer interface. You stop being a passive observer and become an active participant, analyzing digital evidence alongside the characters. Mercy breaks this connection. It establishes the desktop view, but then makes jarring cuts away from raw webcam feeds directly to conventional IMAX shots. The moment the film cuts to a polished external drone shot, you are forcefully yanked out of the digital environment. The immersive illusion is destroyed, and you are immediately reminded that you are simply watching a Hollywood movie. There is a specific reason raw media pulls us in. Media scholar Jamie Barron defines the archive effect as our tendency to view rough, imperfect digital traces, like security footage or deleted files, as authentic, unedited reality. Mercy builds its entire AI justice system around this concept. The algorithm treats municipal cloud archives, ring camera logs, and surveillance feeds as objective, undeniable truth. But the film refuses to let those archives look like real evidence. Real security footage is blurry and full of technical glitches. Here, those logs are polished into hyper-stylized graphics designed for maximum entertainment value. By filtering gritty digital evidence through a massive Hollywood aesthetic, the film strips away the authenticity of the archive. The digital traces stop acting as proof of reality and instead function as a glossy commercial product. On the surface, the narrative presents itself as a dystopian warning. It shows a society crippled by the dangers of artificial intelligence and constant state observation. French philosopher Michel Foucault described this mechanism of power as the panopticon. In a panoptic society, citizens know they might be watched at any given moment, so they begin to control their own behavior. The fear of the monitoring network does the policing for them. Yet the plot rests on a massive ideological contradiction. When the protagonist needs to prove his innocence to the AI judge, his only method of survival is to tap into the exact same surveillance network that is currently oppressing him. The film constantly features branded corporate technology, specifically Ring cameras, positioning these consumer tracking devices as the ultimate tools for discovering truth and delivering justice. Canadian media theorist Marshall McLuhan famously observed, "The medium is the message." The structure of a technology shapes our understanding of the world far more than the content it carries. Mercy sets out to criticize an AI-driven surveillance state, but its reliance on corporate tracking tools to save the day normalizes our loss of digital privacy. By transforming cameras and data logs into the heroes of a high-end blockbuster, we have transitioned from living inside a panopticon to eagerly consuming our own surveillance as entertainment.